To advance on the path of spirituality, there are 3 steps which are very important. First one is the art of listening. That is called Shravana. Mahavir called all his followers Shravaks based on Shravana. All the Shravaks are supposed to be good listeners. When we say we listen, anyone can listen, but there is an art in listening also. For the spiritual messages, especially to work in your life, one has to develop the art of listening. Most of the times, when the message is being given, the listener is always absent. While attending a spiritual discourse, the mind is not there. Mind is thinking of so many different things. When the listening has to take place, the synchronization of the whole body towards the message that is being given is necessary for the message to work for you. When we listen, the mind is everywhere else. All the 5 senses are active. We are looking at other people, what they are doing, how they are dressed. When we are listening, we're thinking of the gourmet meal that we had last night. Or we are thinking of what needs to be done after the lecture is over. Or we are thinking of the arguments we had with other person before we came, etc., etc. The listening has to be done by the whole body synchronized towards the message that is being given. Every single cell of your body should become an ear and ready to listen. With minimum interference of the mind. When we go to listen, we go with our fixed ideas rather than being an independent listener. We go with an attitude that we know everything. We just want to see if the person talking is talking about the things that we agree with or not. So you already have a predetermined mind, preset ideas about what you're going to listen. In that case, the spiritual message is going to be lost. If your pot is full, that is very, very little that extra water can do for you. So we have to empty out our mind of any preconceived ideas. And when we are listening, we should be 100% synchronized to the message that's given. That doesn't mean agreeing. Even that we do while we are listening. The message that's coming out, if it coincides, if it also echoes of our beliefs, we agree. So when I give a talk, I look at the people. Many of them are shaking their heads. That means they are agreeing with what I say. But agreeing can happen only when you already trying to search the parts of your mind which already have preconceived ideas about the topic that's being discussed. We put it together and then we agree. Mind is continuously active. With an active mind, there is a very little chance the spirituality in a spoken form will work for you. So the body and the mind and the soul meaning awareness, full concentration, applied, all the awareness applied to only one thing, the message that's being delivered. It's the seed of spirituality that is being given. The speaker also has to be in the same mode with his own consciousness integrated. The body, the mind, and the soul. In that case, he's not a speaker anymore. He's just carrying the message from the way beyond where it's coming from. So that way, the soul of the speaker is being delivered. And with your mind being absent meaning mostly absent, with the past ideas, future plans, contacts with other worlds all being absent, very minimal activity of the mind is necessary. Within that state, the soul gets connected to the other soul. So this is the art of listening, the Shravana. And this is the most important step, because that's how the seed of spirituality gets implanted within you. Once the seed is implanted within you, then you can go home and try to analyze it. Put the whole life's experience next to it and try to see if the message that you got, does it make sense? This is the process of manan, which is deep process. Manan is different than brooding. Brooding is, or thinking, or chintan is philosophy. There is a very subtle difference between manan and chintan. Manan is a deeper process. Manan has a positive outlook that you are ready for the message to work for you. you have an open mind, not a closed one. And the outcome of manan will be always good if done right. Manan has a willingness to change the life, eagerness to understand the message. Manan does not mean agreeing 100%. You don't have to agree if your life experiences and your inner mind does not agree. But the attitude of an open mind with eagerness to understand the message and then let it work in a daily life is the process of manan. On the other side, chintan is a negative approach. Negative to begin with, meaning you are finding the ways to deny the message of whatever being said to you. First of all, people who are chintan oriented, who just like to discuss the philosophy, not necessarily make it a part of life. These people usually listen also with a tendency to argue. While they are listening, in the mind they are arguing against the message. They have a tendency to listen in such a way that, yes, I'm listening, but I already have my own set of ideas, and I will argue out in my mind, and in that process, if I win, I will have a great joy because I would win. And if supposing by arguments they cannot win, they feel defeated, and then they get into the process of finding more facts or finding more people to agree with them, and then ultimately defeat the speaker. They are in a constant process of tug of war. They are in the state of fighting all the time. For them to prove themselves right is more important than the spiritual message to work in life. These people will never reach anywhere. Arguments already shows that their pots are full, and in such pots knowledge cannot get in. It's like a pot is upside down and a heavy rain is coming, because that's how the spirit is. The message from the infinite comes like a torrential rain with the truth of existence behind it. But if the pot is upside down, the water will never get in. So these people are in continuous fight with the world, including the spiritual speaker, and they will never get a glimpse of Paramatma till they die. So manan is a inner readiness of understanding the message, analyzing the life situation the whole life is put against it with all your life experiences, and then evaluate the message in a very positive way. And if at the end of that process, if everything seems convincing, then the seedling of spirituality has a chance to grow within you. When the manan is taking place, there is an inner state of desire to change one's life. People who do the manan, they are ready to alter the course of their life because they have realized there is something missing. People who are just having a philosophical discussions, they have a state of mind that they are happy where they are. If something is thrown out to them in the form of a spiritual message, either they will try to destroy it, or if their ego gets destroyed and they are proven wrong, they will utilize that message to go and impress others. Just how WhatsApp is funded by billions and billions of exchanges of information without ever going deeper into their lives. So these are two ways of doing or dealing with the message that has been delivered to you. If the message was coming from the soul, if it is received to reach to the soul in a proper way by proper shravan, then very likely the manan also would be in a purified state, in a totally objective way, without getting influenced by your previous thoughts or previous beliefs and ideas. Then the spiritual path can start for you. So after doing shravan, manan, and then comes the acharana. Acharana is the process of applying this knowledge in the day-to-day life. If you have understood the message, if you have done enough manan on the message, and you have digested, and you have come to conclusions that yes, I have done things which were opposite of what is being suggested, then your actions will start getting affected. Once they start getting affected, meaning the way you had handled the problems of life before, and now, after listening to the message, doing manan over it, and coming to a conclusion that yes, you did have a problem, and with this process, now whatever wisdom you have gained, you're going to apply that without worrying about the consequences, reactions of the other people, your gains or your loss, everything. There is a lot at stake, but you're going to put the message in action, even though it may be tough at the body level, it may be tough at the mind level, at the ego level, at the society level, if you have to find resistance from other people, you should be able to put it in a daily action. And that completes the cycle, because the message which was received in the deepest part of your psyche, and then it was passed through the rigorous arguments and counter-arguments and life experiences. Your whole being was applied on that thought. And when the action comes, that also might go against your previous thinking, against a lot of things, but you have the courage to put it in a daily life, and then observe the results of how much progress did you make on the spiritual path. After applying whatever you believed in, did it change your life? Did more peace come in your life? Did more wisdom started shining out of your behavior? All these things ultimately proves that message has worked for you. But for that message to work, your inner transformation was necessary, which has already happened. And then your path towards spiritual success to the state of samadhi is possible. So, art of listening, art of analyzing, and then art of action. Shravan, manan, and acharan. These are the three great pillars ensuring your spiritual success. So do that and enjoy the fruits of your hard work with a state of samadhi which is equibalanced, equiposed, sthita-prajna state, where there is immense amount of joy and peace. Have a good day.